The world of Nirn from the Elder Scrolls universe is home to a diverse plethora of species, from the feline Khajiit to the hardy Nords, lusty Argonian maids to imperialistic elves. But it doesn't just end there. Hidden away in the corners of Tamriel and far-off isles are other sentient or semi-sentient species that have founded their own unique civilizations, and we just don't really see much of them for one reason or another. But that changes today. Welcome to Xeno Safaris, brought to you by Lore Tours, and today we're going to take you down to Tamriel and beyond, to visit these hidden civilizations, get to know these unique creatures, study their societies, and why you might not have heard of them. We venture first to the most southeastern tip of the dense swampland region, known as Black Marsh. Here we find the merchant city of Lilmothiit. Known for its nearly unbearable humidity and overgrown ancient imperial villas, it is one of the few existing reminders of the strange furry creatures who once resided all along the southern coast of Black Marsh. The Lilmothiit are a beast race believed by some to be distantly related to the Khajiit, except they resembled a mixture of man and fox. Despite their nomadic and tribal society, they did build two notable cities, Lilmoth and Black Rose, settlements which would serve as grounds to be built upon by later generations. Unfortunately, the Lilmothiit are believed to have gone extinct during the Second Era, wiped out by the Khanahatan flu that swept over Black Marsh. We venture west now to the wilderness of Valenwood, a heavily forested area home to many strange and unique species, including the Centaurs. This race of highly intelligent and slightly arrogant nomads are worshipped by some and despised by others. They are an ancient and mysterious race, possessing the lower body of a horse and the upper torso of something that resembles a human. Residing in Valenwood long before the Elves first arrived, Centaurs looked down on other races, referring to them in disgust as mortals. To their credit, they are regarded as exceptional warriors, skilled in the use of spear and bow, making them extremely effective in lightning-fast hit-and-run or, I guess, hit-and-gallop tactics. And they're not limited to just Valenwood, as the Centaurs have been spotted in the wooded areas of Hammerfell and High Rock. Staying in Valenwood now, we venture further into the forest to study the Imga, a race of intelligent ape men who, like the Centaurs, thrived in Valenwood long before the arrival of other intelligent races such as the Bosmer. Despite predating the Elves in this area, the Imga see the Ultima as the model of peak civilization and the perfect role models, going to great lengths to imitate their behaviour. They wear capes, practice swordplay, and each possess titles such as Baron or Lord, despite none of them actually owning any land. They also speak in a high, courtly manner, which quite frankly sounds a bit ridiculous, given their naturally gravelly and baritone voices make it difficult for them to imitate the speaking patterns of the Ultima. This haughty, arrogant nature that they borrowed from the High Elves has also led to them looking down upon humans, pretending to find the scent of humans repulsive, and using a perfumed corner of their cape to cover their nose whenever humans are near. Now, the Imga are thought by some to have gone extinct, but in fact, they are just honouring their time-old tradition of running away into the forests and hiding out whenever a conflict were to arise. We're going to hop on over to the hot and wild land of Elsewhere now, to study the Khajiit. Now I know what you're thinking, the Khajiit aren't some lesser-known species. You can't walk 2 steps through the Imperial City without stumbling across a furry schooner addict. But did you know just how many different forms of Khajiit there are? As depending on the influence of the world's 2 moons when a Khajiit is born, it can emerge as one of at least 17 different Furstocks, all varying greatly in appearance. Take the Alfiq for instance, a small but intelligent and magically gifted subrace of Khajiit that resemble the common house cat. Then there's a type of Khajiit you're more likely to see throughout the rest of Tamriel, the Cafe, or their larger variant, the Cafe Rad. We also have the Oms and Oms Rad, who are Khajiit but often lack fur and tails, resembling more men and elves. And then there's the towering and mighty tiger-like Parma and larger Parma Rad, serving as some of the greatest commanders in Khajiit armies. Don't forget the quadrupedal intelligent Sench, who can be ridden into battle by other Khajiit. Now, due to the prejudice they face outside of elsewhere, many of these other forms choose not to leave their homeland for fear of persecution, or in the case of the Alfiks, being kidnapped and forced to serve as a cute and cuddly house cat. Our journey now takes us over the high seas to the southern continent of Pyandonia, an isle surrounded by nearly impenetrable mist and treacherous waters filled with sea serpents. Here dwell the Maormer or Sea Elves, banished to this sea-soaked kingdom from the elven homeland of Aldmeris long ago. They have skin ranging from white, grey and blue to a colourless chameleon-like substance. They have gills, fin-like ears and tongues that can filter salt water to make it drinkable, all attributes that make them some of the finest sailors in all the world. These sea elves also practice various types of magic to help them in their seafaring exploits. The practice of storm magic allows them to summon hurricanes to destroy enemy fleets, while snake magic helps them to tame the sea serpents that surround their lands and produce leviathans, an unholy magical coupling of sea elf and sea serpent. These violent, scale-covered and stooped monstrosities tower above even the tallest of Nords, and were used effectively to raid and invade the lands of the hated Altmer, particularly the Somerset Isles. Due to their far-off land, however, the Maormer are rarely seen, except by the unfortunate citizens of the coastal towns raided by these marauding sea elves. And finally we head across the Sea of Pearls west of Tamriel to the coral kingdoms of Thras, an archipelago and home to the Sload, a race of fat, slimy slugs with a love of necromancy. They have been engaged in a near-timeless war against the Altmer for possession of the Somerset Isles, conjuring great sea monsters to raid the coast and attempt to reclaim the lands that once belonged to them. These slugs are highly intelligent and incredibly cautious, often spending years planning and considering the right path to achieve their goals. They have no emotions, however they often act out emotions in a sociopathic way to manipulate other races, and due to their massive, slow-moving bodies, they often rely on airships called Sload floaters to get about. Their downfall, however, came when they unleashed the deadly Thracian Plague on the rest of Tamriel, decimating half its population and using the chaos to sack cities and enslave the inhabitants. Retaliation was swift and brutal when Bendu Olo, the King of Anvil, led an all-flags navy assembled from many races across Tamriel to the kingdoms of Thras, slaughtering most of the Sload and sinking their island homes. And that brings an end to today's Xeno safari across Tamriel and beyond. Which of these lesser-known species would you like to see more of? Is there another hidden race in the Elder Scrolls universe that you think we should cover? Make sure to let us know down in the comments and subscribe to join us again soon. Thanks for watching, catch you next time.